In today's video, we visit Cerro Dantas, a beautiful place full of majestic nature, which, although it will not make it easy for you to reach it, without a doubt, it will be very worth the effort. Picturesque bridges, rivers, waterfalls, join us on today's adventure, to which we're also invited our offspring. Today we take the doggies and we finally head to explore a place that we had not been able to go to until now, since it is one of those places that cannot be reached in a vehicle that is not a 4x4 or at least relatively high. So, taking advantage of the fact that we finally have one, we headed to Cerro Dantas, located just an hour drive from San Jose in the north direction. The road, as is customary in Costa Rica, amazing. The landscape gets more and more beautiful as you get to the place, and since we went on a Tuesday and the place is not very trending, there was nobody, which always is great. Muy bien! Once in the place, or rather in what we thought was the place, the first part of the adventure began, because it turns out that from where you park the car and to the entrance of the refugee itself, a walk of almost 2 kilometers of stones, water, mud, and occasional sleep were waiting for us. During this visually amazing trail, you have to cross some bridges, each one in worse condition, but which in turn give it a touch very uncharted, that I say, and that I personally love. The trail continues amazing, and with the weather that we had that day, it gave it some very unique vibes. Although it is true that this weather is very typical of this area, since this wildlife refugee is located in the limits of the Braulio Carrillo National Park. Mud, stones and slippery logs, and now tires full of waters. This looks like a TV show in which the only intention is that you fall over your ass at some point to satisfy the audience. But I'm afraid that we will not indulge you, or at least not yet. And after one last bridge, the Cerro Dantas refugee was finally waiting for us. It is a fascinating place that has two trail options, one of 3.5 kilometers and another of 6.5. And they told us that both have sections in which you have to climb with the help of ropes. We will start with a small detour to see a beautiful waterfall. It is located even before the official start of the trail, so we venture to know it before diving into the walk. As I always say, no matter how many waterfalls we see, we always smile like children when we discover a new one. Well done, Costa Rica, with all your wonderful and countless waterfalls that you have to offer us. And after more than 2 hours hiking like crazy, here is where we just start the trail. And somewhat trail, I would say. The truth is that is how it feels. At this point, we already had a good walk behind us since we got out of the car, and seeing the sign for the beginning of the trail was a little bit confusing. But hey, the truth is that in these environments, every step you take is an enjoyment. So we were ready to dip into our real destiny, because apparently everything we have done up to now had only been a warming up. This is when we get to the junction between trails, a moment in which you have to make the decision of which one to choose. And we ended up deciding on the shortest one, because the guy told us that it had much less sections to climb with ropes, which were not going to be easy for the dogs. The truth is that the trail itself is not very easy to walk. You have to cross rivers, avoid a lot of branches and trunks, super steep climbs, although in the end, the dogs almost made it better than us, except for a staircase that had to be climbed. So next time we will choose the long trail. The place itself, it is a visual delight. There is almost no room in the eyes for so much natural beauty. It is a constant delight. The truth is that walking immersed in these landscapes fills us with peace and recharges our energy. The end of the trail was coming to an end, but not the natural wonders. Apparently, the show was going to accompany us until the very end. And so it was. Cerro Dantas fascinated us throughout the tour. Definitely a super option for nature and adventure very close to the city. Thank you very much for joining us in this adventure. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it, and see you into the nature.